Here we are going to do some characteristics of accommodation. And as you can see, it is the end result of conflict. The definitions we have done, you can see that it may be the conflict and competition can the ending part of conflict and competition can be accommodation. And like all the other social processes, it is both some conscious and unconscious processes, and it can be found everywhere, and it is a continuous process, just like competition. And it is a mixture of both love and hatred. Most of the time it is a mixture of hatred, but we can find love also in accommodation. We are going to do the example, so you'll get to know. Categories of accommodation. We can accommodate or we can adjust with the natural conditions or with the social conditions, new social conditions. As we know, natural conditions are all the conditions made by the nature, and social conditions all the conditions made by man. If you come to your book, Park and Burgess have classified accommodation into following two categories: adjustment with new natural condition. Man adjusts himself in new climatic, geographical, or geophysical condition where he migrates. Wherever we go, we adjust according to that condition. We live in Ahmedabad, and if we go and settle ourselves in Punjab, though the weather here is very cold, but if we settle there, our body adapts to that temperature. The homeostasis process changes, and we feel cold over there also. So the body has a tendency to accommodate to any area. Likewise, if we go to Gilgit, we are going to accommodate ourselves, balance ourselves according to that climatic conditions. People change their residence, cities, and countries. They face new geographical conditions, and they change their mode of living according to those conditions. The adjustment with natural conditions is a type of accommodation. And then is the accommodation with new social conditions, and it says in this case it is conditions formed socially, like we adapt ourselves, we adjust with the new fashion designs, though sometimes our parents disapprove of them, but we make them approve those things, and we make them agree on those new designs. And this is how we make them accommodate with the new social conditions. In this case, an individual who migrates to another cultural area, he adopts the cultural condition of that society. He learns the language. How do we accommodate to the social conditions where we have migrated? We learn their language, techniques of everyday and social life, customs of marrying, patterns of interaction, various norms and values of the new society. The process of adjustment with new socio-cultural life is called this type of accommodation. An individual faces a large number of problems in adjusting himself in the new culture. He has to learn the new roles and norms of the new society. This process of learning at this later stage is always slow. That is why the individual faces serious problems in adjustment with the new culture. In general, it can be concluded that the process of accommodation removes the social and cultural differences between two individual groups and societies. So why is the process of accommodation very important? Because it removes the differences between two cultures, societies, or individuals. It makes them come on the same platform. Then we have some forms of accommodation. The first one is truce, and we commonly say it as ceasefire. Rivalries are stopped for definite or indefinite period of time, and the issue remains unsettled. The issue remains there, but the rivalries, the hostilities are stopped, and the stopping period can be a known period, definite period, or indefinite period for a very long. The best example of truce is the Truce of Hudaybiyah, held in 6th Hijri between Quraysh and Makkah, and the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is a documentary example in this case. So we know the Truce of Hudaybiyah, and it is the best example of the truce signed till date. And then is the compromise. What is compromise? That when two parties, it's all or nothing situation. When two parties are on a ground where they might lose everything, and so they have to maintain, you can say, have peace between them, because if they are going to fight again, if they'll get into conflict again, they're going to lose everything. So they come to some situation, some in between way, to do something so that they don't lose anything. So that is known as compromise. Very good example of compromise is, sometimes we say that it's done in a marital relationship. So what is compromise? The parties in this process come to an agreement of granting certain concessions with respect to each other. And what are concessions? These are some privileges, benefits given by some authorities. In this field of common concessions, a mutual understanding is created in which the rivalries are subdued momentarily and the problem faced is taken jointly. Momentarily, at the moment you overcome the issues you are facing, and you form a peace pact so that you can live some time happily. And there are some examples given in below. India and Pakistan open, we all know we are in a compromise situation with India, and that's the best example.